Hello there and welcome to today's ride. Let's see if I can ride 50 kilometers on a 45-year-old bike. I'm at the famous Goodwood motor track to ride the press event for the Eroica Britannia, which is an event for vintage bicycles, and this is my ride for today. It's a 45-year-old Raleigh Gran Sport, and I'm really happy to be riding it because my first ever road bike was a Raleigh, but looking at the gearing on this bike and knowing the hills around here, it's got me a little scared. Well, that's us out of the Goodwood motor track, and we are immediately doing a climb, quite a steep one, that apparently was used in the 1982 UCI World Championships, and I'm already in my lowest gear and we're still on the flat. At least we're on a private road going through the Goodwood estate. I'm assuming that's the famous Goodwood house. That's the first time I've ever seen it, despite living just over the back there. That's me walking up the first climb. Pretty steep. Back on the bike now. Turns out that I wasn't in my lowest gear. I was still in a big ring. Good job they've waited and regrouped at the top for me. My first road bike had shifters on the down tube, only had 5 gears, but after 25-30 years of riding bikes with index shifters, it takes a bit of getting used to going back to down shifters. Actually, I think I'm preferring the climbs because the descents are terrifying on this bike. Being an older vintage bike with very kind of ineffective rim brakes, yeah, I'm just on the brakes all the way down. Terrifying. We're coming up to the second climb of the day, and now I know that I've got a front ring to change down to. Might make it a little easier. And here's the climb. I've been up it on my regular road bike, but this is going to be a real test now. Yep, beaten by the climb again. Jump out. Slow motion, this is real speed.
Confirmed, that sucked, but it's done.
This is a poor one, I'm afraid.
It's just keep going with lattes, I think.
Sorry?
Keep going with
lattes. Who's next for a latte or a flat white?
Can I pose for this one?
Of course you can, yeah. I'll pass it across to you.
I'm not a really big coffee drinker, but when it's being served to you by Sir Chris Hoy, then you can't really refuse.
Funny because everyone's saying, "Oh, I'm not enjoying it," but you can hear people laughing coming all the way down.
Heart beer, heart.
God, I feel my bones shaking on that. Yeah. So,
I suppose that's as close as Strada Bianchi as we're going to get in the UK. Turns out I've been pronouncing Eroica wrong, and they're telling me that the whole ethos behind the ride is just a celebration of vintage bikes, the beauty of vintage bikes, the landscape that you're riding through, and enjoying all of the local food and drink that you can find along the way. And for me, that just sounds absolutely fantastic. Back on home roads now, cycling between Compton and Westbourne. We'll take a left turn in a minute down Hares Lane. When we had the briefing today, they were saying that we should just ride the pace of the bike, and I certainly get that, although some of the hills just defeated me, which I could normally do on my regular road bike. Got to get a shot of Gareth's shoes. I've never seen anyone ride in loafers before.
This is how we do it, you know, loafers and fixed gear bikes. I mean, you know, I'm done with clip-in pedals. I'm done with carbon fibre. It's all about steel and loafers now, isn't it?
This man can ride this bike anywhere. We've seen him ride over grass, gravel, anything, and just track stands. I've never seen anyone do track stands for as long as he does them.
Born on a bike. Born on a bike.
That's it.
Yes, true story. My mum cycled to the hospital when she gave birth to me.
Oh well,
So,
definitely, yeah.
You know,
Almost born on a bike.
Almost born on a bike.
Now we're back at Goodwood. We've been invited to do a lap of the motor track. Now I know Goodwood's normally associated with motor racing, but it also has cycle events on here, and I personally used to ride the Goodwood Gallops road race on this course back in 2005. Needless to say, my lap today is considerably slower than back then. That's me back at Goodwood. So 48 kilometers on a 45-year-old bike. And yeah, I managed it, so I'm really pleased with that. It's also my longest ride of the year so far. I have to be honest though, and I did have to walk up 3 of the climbs, but they were pretty steep, and the gearing on this bike was very, very different to what I'm used to, much higher. But overall, I have to say, I was very, very surprised with this bike itself. It was much more comfortable than I was expecting. The only sort of issue was the kind of front end. It was a little bit lower than I'm used to, but all in all, a really comfortable ride. A massive thank you to Goodwood, and a massive thank you to Eroica Britannia for inviting me. It's been an absolutely fantastic day. My understanding is that the actual event is here, open to the public in August, so hopefully I'll be back for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.